Let's go to our main man, Jeff Kerr, set to join us right here on Birds 365 on a Monday morning edition. Jeff, welcome to the show, man. How you doing on this Monday morning?
Happy first day of the 2025-2026 bowling season, Zander Krause.
Wow, bowling. We're going to talk bowling?
Oh, well, no, I just wanted to bring that up because tonight is opening night. So.
All right. I didn't know they had. I didn't even know they had an opening.
Me either, John. That every day you learn something new.
Yeah, it's a big night. Fall's fun for me because you got bowling starting up.
Do they have like bunting, like baseball opening day? Is there bunting on the lanes?
Nah, they just they go over league rules and all that, all the fun stuff. But it's just one of those things. If you're a bowler, you kind of get the juice in today. We'll just put it that way.
Is Jeff Kerr going to throw out the first strike? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I do get fired up when the first ball I shoot is a strike. I will say that.
Right.
It's probably the most nervous I'll get the entire season.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
You got
to quell those nerves, Jeff. All right. There's game time players for a reason. I know you're a game time player. Let's quiet those nerves down.
Oh, it's like your first at bat of the baseball season. You want to get a hit, right?
Right. No, I get it. I get it. Jeff, couple moves yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles. Preseason now in the rear view, roster cuts coming up, man. Eagles make 3 trades yesterday. Just your first reaction to what the moves that they made. They bring back Fred Johnson, get rid of Darian Kennard, and also bring in Sam Howell, who maybe not the best, but at least he's got some experience. Well, your thoughts on some of those moves, Jeff Kerr, and where the Eagles are today?
Yeah, he's best. Well, Sam Howell's better than Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Kyle McCord. So I gave the Eagles an A- for that trade.
A-.
Whoa. I agree, though. They definitely got better.
Because of the situation, they needed somebody. In my honest opinion, if you went into that season with Kyle McCord as your number 2 because Taron McKee's thumb injury was going to keep him out, it's not a good situation. If anything happened to Jalen, you're kind of punting that game. So at least, and not saying Sam Howell's any good, but Sam Howell started, 21 NFL games in this league.
Here's my thing, Jeff. Look, Howie got incrementally better. And I said, I don't know if you were, how quick you got in, but I said, look, I mean, the guy deserves all his flowers, best GM in football, all that kind of stuff. He's making moves to get the Eagles incrementally better. But, I mean, what does this say about the back end of your roster? That you're not willing to go with somebody you worked with all spring and summer in favor of Sam Howell, who Kevin O'Connell, the guy working with, said, I don't want this guy. I want Carson Wentz. That tells me something. I can't give an A for that trade. I'll give a B- for a third string quarterback. For a third string, because they got incrementally better.
Yeah, they're not going to hit on every pick. He's like a 6th-round pick, dude. That work out,
no, here's the thing. But Connor's going to be back by week 2 or week 3 at the latest. You can't. And Jalen Hurts is 99% sure to make it through that game, and nobody's going to give a shit, never see Sam Howell in Philadelphia. And you're still panicked enough to bring in Sam Howell? Yeah, I can't give it an A. Whatever you gave it.
I understand your point. I just looked at the situation of just for that 0.01% chance Jalen Hurts does get hurt. It'd be like I still think
you know what? Jalen Hurts gets hurt early in that game, you're losing the game. With Sam Howell, Kyle McCord.
Sam Howell took us to overtime in 2023, John. Don't count him out just yet, all right?
I'm counting him out.
I think this franchise is still haunted by that playoff loss to Seattle when Carson Wentz got that concussion and they had to roll out their 40-year-old Josh McClown, who I think
McClown. You just called Josh. By the way, Josh McCown is the Vikings quarterbacks coach.
Yeah,
Carson's there.
He gave up on Sam Howell.
Yeah. Well, I think Kevin O'Connell did, but
yeah.
In the case of that game, remember Josh McClown. Boy, that's a random stray. Josh McClown, he played great in that game. Tore his hamstring. He did a phenomenal job.
That's why I laughed and I said McClown. I'm like, wait a minute, McCown. Like that was the point I was trying to make. He tore his hamstring. He played admirably in that game, but.
By the way, that guy's going to be a head coach. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he's a position coach somewhere, right?
Yeah, quarterback's coach. Minnesota. That's why Carson's there.
I can't believe
Howell left because McCown just told him, get the hell out of here.
Well, now, like I said, I think that's Kevin O'Connell, but he's obviously the guy that everybody wants to work with.
But John, you bring up the depth on the 90-man roster that they bring in. Isn't that the price of winning? Isn't that the price of being a great team? People poach your players. You lose a lot of talent. You can't pay a lot of people. You got to prevail. You got to.
No, again, individually, I like the moves. Individually, Sam is better than, as Jeff mentioned, he's better than DTR. He's better than Kyle McCord. So he's going to be a third string quarterback. So ultimately, who cares? You get incrementally better. Fred Johnson, they didn't have a backup left tackle. So getting him back, they get incrementally better. They get a 6th-round pick for Darian Kennard because he's redundant now. So I like that. All the moves make sense from that micro standpoint. The macro stuff I'm a little concerned with because, again, I go back to this month. You're also bringing in Jacorian Bennett. Why? Because the corners weren't good enough. You're also bringing in John Mechie. Why? Because the receivers weren't good enough. It's a theme now.
The Timo offseason.
Yeah, the Timo offseason.
Yeah, but you also made a comment to me, in the last couple of weeks that from 20 to 50, and in this case 20 to 90, maybe.
Well, that's
the same.
Emphasizing that
Most
statement.
teams are the same. I mean, they're not that.
I'm emphasizing that statement to say the Eagles are still the Eagles because of the top 20 players. And again, if things go wrong from an injury standpoint, they're going to have some issues. That's what I'm trying to say.
And
I'm trying to emphasize that point.
That's what I liked about all these moves. They're kind of covering their tracks, right? I was a little upset Fred Johnson didn't come back, or they didn't try to bring Fred Johnson.
I thought they were going to draft a tackle in the first 2 days.
And they did not.
And they didn't get it. Yeah. Well, the draft falls the way it falls.
Yeah, I mean, when you're operating the way the Eagles have this offseason, which is Temu, which is not being able to, sign or trade big players. They didn't make any big moves like they did a year ago with Bryce Huff and Saquon Barkley. And they're operating in that way. Then you have to get more creative in the ways you improve your odds at winning and advancing late in the year. And I think depth is one of the best ways to do it. And if you identify, a weakness and you can trade a couple of late round picks and shit, go and do it. And I get what you're saying, John. Maybe the 90 wasn't as good as it was cracked up to be, but they still improved it and maybe increased their odds at winning. And
that's where Howie does deserve credit because he is always working and he's honest. This ain't good enough.
I also like now you can stash a Miles Hinton on this 53. You don't have to keep a Matt Pryor or Darian Kennard because you're worried about your 53.
Oh, they're keeping Matt Pryor.
I know that, but now with a Miles Hinton around, you can do this, right? It's you don't have to worry about do we have to worry about passing this guy through waivers? Well, that's not even an option. He's going to make the 53.
Yeah, Miles is. I don't think Cam is.
I don't think he is either. John, who'd you have for your 10 offensive line? Did you go 10 offensive linemen for your?
Well, yeah, but I got screwed by Howie because I hit send, and then Darren Kennard trade came down.
Oh, EJ loved how I waited till like 11:30 last night to send that in.
So I was so frustrated. I was like, I got to get away from this damn computer, and I'm like, all right, he's got to be done. And as soon as I sent it, I even had to look up on Google how do you unsend. And I couldn't get it done.
Unsend an email. Nope, can't do it, Johnny Mac.
Well, you can for like 20, 30 seconds, but you got to do it right away. So, I sent it. I looked down and I said, fuck, because I had Kennard and I wanted to move. He would have made the team if they didn't trade him. But I would have moved to Keegan and I got screwed. It is what it is. By the way, I think we should have went with our 53s after the preseason game. I
agree with you.
Yeah,
that would have been the hardest, and that would have challenged you guys the most, and would have created the most amount of.
And I advocated that at the game, and I was overruled. But whatever. Yeah, so I get my $5 to charity. All right, whatever.
I'm going to either win or lose this thing based on Kenyon Green. And I don't like banking on Kenyon Green, but
did you put him on your roster?
I put him on because I think they're arrogant enough to admit that they just did.
All right, I like that. I like that.
I appreciate you going out on a limb, but I don't think that guy's making the roster.
He shouldn't.
I see why you did it.
They are arrogant at times. Jeff is correct.
And I think that's how they're going to make Trevor Keegan expendable. I think it's we just can't admit.
Well, I think Trevor Keegan is expendable, but once you trade Kennard, but that's interesting, Kenyon. You're right. There's a lot of hubris there. They don't want to say, "Hey, we got nothing for CJ," especially if CJ plays well.
Yeah, it's true. Especially, that's actually not a bad point by you, Kerr. I don't think he's going to make the team, but I hear where you're coming from.
He doesn't deserve to make the team.
No, exactly. That's the point. And I'm curious of how they're going to pick their edge rushers because I still think they're going to make.
There's one coming, man. Yeah, there. If there isn't, it's not for a lack of trying.
Yeah. John, who did you pick? Did you go 5 edge rushers?
Yeah, I put Patrick over.
That's I did.
APR because he was great against they already cut Samuel Jackson. He was like their first cut, the Jets. So you always have to put it. He was phenomenal in that Jets game. But again, it's against a guy who's not going to be in the NFL. And he just didn't do anything during the summer. But I would be stunned if they don't trade for an edge rusher. I would be absolutely floored. He knows they're not good enough.
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me they should trade for a cornerback. I said, no, they did that. They need to trade for an edge rusher.
I said the same thing. I stopped answering people. They already did it. You may not like it because Bennett hasn't seized the job in one day, but they already made their move at cornerback. Edge rusher, they got to make their move.
All right, ready? Here's my proposed move. John, this comes from you, and it might not happen. It probably won't happen, but I'll throw it out there. Trayvon Walker, let's bring him in, Jeff. Let's send our first round
I
pick.
should not have mentioned Trayvon Walker.
Let's just talk it out here.
Jesus.
Let's send the first round pick next year. Let's bring in Trayvon Walker, and let's give him a 4-year extension for $100 million.
You're giving up a
$25 million a year. It would make him the 5th highest paid edge rusher.
I'm not giving him an extension.
You have
right
to.
Away.
Why trade for that guy for 1 year?
Why give him a first round pick to do that?
I'm not giving him an extension right away. Right away.
So you're waiting 1 year. Does he have? I guess he has this year and then the 5th year option next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have 2 years. So you could wait the year, in theory. Price would go up. The edge rusher market is weird right now because there's a massive gap between the top and like the middle. Like you go from Max Crosby, who's the 4th highest paid edge in the league, making $35.5 a year. And then the next person is Montez Sweat at $24.5. That's a $10 million. That's a $10 million drop.
And
I think Trayvon comes well below Crosby, but above Sweat. I think $25 million a year is right on the number.
Yeah, I keep saying this. I know people don't want to hear it, but I've been banging the table for it. Just trade for Trey Hendrickson and give the guy what he wants.
No, I don't want Trey Hendrickson.
I do. I want a guy who can get pressure on the quarterback and get sacks, and that's what they need.
All right. Well, here's who they're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. They're not getting Trey Hendrickson.
Arnold Ebiketie.
Oh, the Temple kid or the Penn State kid.
Yes. Well, Penn State, I thought you would default to, but Temple, he was at Temple longer than Penn State, but he finished at Penn State. He's got everything. He's got the 34-inch arms. He's had production as a situational rusher. Arnold Ebiketie, what can you tell us about his 1 year at Penn State, Jeff? It turned him into a second-round pick. It was the 38th pick in the draft.
And what Arnold Ebiketie, I remember when he came in from Temple, they weren't even sure if he was going to start. He was came from the transfer portal, obviously, and he started week 1. I'm trying to remember who they played, but he had like 2 sacks, I think, that week, and he just never gave up the job. And I really liked how he played against the run that season. For Penn State. You're right. It turned to a second-round pick from the Falcons, and the Falcons were reaching for edge rushers at the time because they had the fewest sacks in the NFL since Vic Beasley led the league in sacks in 2016. And I don't know why it hasn't fully worked there, but he's not a bad player.
And they drafted, well, I think it has worked, but they drafted, I think, 2 edge rushers. James Pierce being one of them.
James Pierce is going to be good, by the way. I really like
And
James Pierce.
well, I mean, if James Pierce didn't have some issues, he would have been a top 15 pick. And then they drafted Jalen Walker as well. So I think it's one of those instances where they got too much at the position, and he's probably not going to play that much. And he's a pretty good player. And that's the guy I've been looking at. That's the type of player I've been looking at. And he's got some production. I brought up Gabe Murphy as well, but he hasn't played. This guy's played and produced.
You know what? Evan Kennedy's got more pressures than I realized. I knew he was
a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player, but I don't know what it is with the Falcons. It feels like a lot, especially over the last couple of years, probably because they changed defensive coordinators so much. Now they got Raheem Morris there. It just feels like a lot of their stats, even with their good players, are empty stats.
Wow, they probably are.
What about a guy like Keon White? People were bringing him up to me last night.
I mean, anybody.
Years old. He's like 6'5", 285 with the Patriots.
That's too big. Too big.
Yeah. No, I think John's spot on with the Evan Kennedy stuff.
Yeah, that's way too big. That's like that's like a 5 technique for a big. They're looking for a pass rush.
I'll go a little further. Would you be surprised if Arnold Ebike started over Jalen Saunders?
Oh, no.
Yeah, John said that. He said that in the open.
2 weeks in, he'd be the starter.
So if you guys were, I know you don't think the Eagles are going to do it, but would you do it? A 1 for Trayvon Walker?
Oh, I would do it. But I mean, the Eagles are going to pick like 28th at worst case scenario. I mean, are you getting to 28th pick? Is it going to be as good as Trayvon Walker? No. So, yeah, I wouldn't even blink. But you know how GMs are with their first round picks.
That's how I'm looking at it. Yeah, if we're playing the whole would you do it, then I think I would, but I'm trying to think in Howie Roseman's thing here, and he's probably like, what if I gave a second and a future 4 for something? Or
well, I think actually what would come into play in Howie's eyes would be his thoughts on Nolan right now. I don't know what his thoughts on Nolan are. I mean, I think we all think Nolan's a good player, but it's hard not to think about the injuries and the durability with him.
That's my issue.
If you're going to pay him next year, what are you going to pay him? 20 million, 18 million like Josh Sweat, 25 million? I don't know. I mean, look, I think Nolan's a great player, but I think Howie's definitely thinking about that, obviously.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about the durability. That's my biggest concern with Nolan Smith. I know he can play, but I mean, he's banged up pretty much the entire summer, dealing with shoulders, his triceps. How's he getting through 17 games plus the playoffs?
My issue with this team right now, it's on paper it's fine, but Nolan Smith gets hurt, Jalen Hunt gets hurt, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and Azeez Ojulari ain't helping you. Josh Uche might help you a little bit.
All right, so who they keeping right now at the edge room as it sits today? Might change. Obviously, probably will change pretty quickly.
As of right now, Xander, this is the 5 I have. I have Ujulari, Uche, again, no particular order here. Nolan Smith, Jalen Hunt, Patrick Johnson.
Okay, so you have
I got the same 5.
Okay, so you kept Patrick Johnson too. Both of you went with him over the draft pick APR.
Yeah.
See, I pulled the Jeff Kerr on that. And now I didn't put out an official prediction or anything like that with the beat reporters like you guys have, but I went with the Jeff Kerr line of thinking that they're going to keep the draft pick.
Well, he put together a great final argument if he was a lawyer against the Jets, but that's his only argument. He did nothing before that.
Honestly,
he's a draft pick.
I would have kept Ogbo over him, over APR.
Yeah, Obo is not he's not making the team, but he made they might bring him back on the practice squad. And he would play above APR. I would say that if they bring, if worse came to shove, they would elevate him from the practice squad. If you're putting APR, it's another red shirt, basically. Like he's not playing. If you need him to play, you're going to elevate the veteran you put on the practice squad.
I feel like your red shirts this year are Drew Kendall and Miles Hinton.
I don't think Drew's I
Yeah,
don't think Drew's a red shirt. I
I
mean,
felt like Drew was ready, one of the most ready to play of the backup offensive linemen. I
I
didn't think
mean-
the offensive lineman depth was that impressive
Yeah,
this summer.
I mean, he's ready to play, but someone's got to be a game day inactive, right?
yeah, he's going to be active. There are
Okay.
5 starters. Pryor, Fred, Kendall are going to be your 8.
Okay.
candidates.
Yeah, I'll change my opinion on that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Pryor, Fred, and Kendall are your 3 backups there. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That's about what I was thinking
On game days, yeah.
on
'Cause
game
You're
days.
going to have a couple inactive. Miles is going to be inactive probably the whole season. And then whoever you keep, Trevor Keegan, whomever is going to be inactive.
Kenyon Green.
Kenyon Green. Well,
If Kenyon Green makes this team, I might do a fist bump.
you should. That's
I'm
bold.
gonna have a Jeff Kerr day on JAKIB Sports.
That's bold. That's how you win this thing, though, by being bold.
Yeah,
I like the thought of. I like.
John, did you go bold anywhere? You've been telling me that's how you win for weeks, and you didn't go bold. It doesn't sound like.
He went bold. I think he went bold on a couple moves.
I don't know. I didn't hear much.
Well, I went Cooper.
Oh, you did go Darius Cooper.
Yeah.
So did I. I went
Well,
there.
Anaya Smith shit the bed and against the. I mean, I had to rewatch that damn thing.
Oh man.
You know,
He had
it
2
was funny.
drops. He struggled as a punt returner. I mean, at some point, the dude just. I mean, he had they gave him plenty of opportunities, and he failed.
Yeah, he did. And when I did my initial, I only do 2 of these. I did one before when training camp ended, and I did one after the preseason game. And I changed quite a bit. I had Anias making it until that game, and I said, you know what? This guy just hasn't shown anything. I like the kid, just hasn't shown anything.
And by the way, they should cut him both.
Darius Cooper was going to cost John because he was a little on the fence about putting him on the 53.
Well, by the way, they should cut him too. I mean, there's another indication of the weakness of the 90-man roster. He should not be on the team.
I feel like
they got to keep somebody.
I mean, you said a couple of weeks ago, John, this is the deepest the wide receiving group's ever been in the Nick Sirianni era.
Yeah, but the guys that can play, Terrace Marshall, Elijah Cooks, they're not going to keep because they can't help on special teams.
That's true.
They got John Mechie, Darius Cooper. Johnny Wilson's now out, which is.
Well, I'm talking 5th. I'm talking 5th, 6th. Yeah, and part of it's Johnny's injury. But you see Johnny's injury. Like Johnny Wilson, everybody's like, oh, he's shit. He can't catch a ball in the Super Bowl. He get injured. It's crisis mode. It's like, what the hell? They got nobody to play that role. E.J. Jenkins he's another guy who I was going to put on the roster, and he just started dropping the football over the last week. He had like 5-6 drops.
See,
who they keeping at receiver? How many receivers they keeping projected by you guys, and who are they?
You want to go first, Sean?
Yeah, I got 5, and well, obviously the top 3, and then Mechie and Cooper are the 5 I kept.
Those are the 5 I had.
And I'm gonna try to work out a deal with Marshall to get him on the practice squad or Cooks, but I would prefer Marshall. But and if they needed somebody to play, he's the guy you elevate from the practice squad would actually play. So I think that's the way they'll handle it.
I feel like the elevations would be him and Brett Tove. If they did.
Brett's another guy that's difficult. I didn't put him on the 53. He'll probably be on the practice squad. At some point, Brett might say, you know what, let me go somewhere else. He tried it in Carolina for a little bit, but so it'll be interesting. But I'm sure Jeff Stoutland will bring it back. He might want to look at his options, but I'm sure.
All right, so in your guys' situation, though, who's the return man?
Well,
I have an idea of who it might be.
Remember who their best punt returner is.
It's Cooper DeJean.
Yes.
We're not I don't want to put
in the worst case. I think they'll start with Dotson.
That's what I'm going with.
But if worse comes to worse, they can just put Cooper back there. They did it all last year, so who cares?
I asked Jahan specifically this a couple weeks ago, and he's kind of giddy about the idea about potentially being the punt returner, and he wants to show the Eagles that aspect of his game because he knows he's not going to get the targets. So that's another way to showcase how valuable you are to a football team.
Yeah, so I think he'll get the volume returns. If there's a high leverage return, they might go to Cooper or Devontae even, who has done that in the past.
Yeah.
In really high leverage situations.
Devontae used to do it when they were pinned deep, right? And the return would be like
when they need a big return, yeah.
Zander, you would know this better than I would. Didn't he do it in one of the national championship games?
I don't know if he did it in there. I don't remember that.
But he can do it. He wouldn't do it like consistently, but he can do it in high leverage. And then the kick returners are easy. I mean, whether Will Shipley, I think, is going to be your main kickoff returner. And then you can they even had A.J. Dillon out there at times. Good,
I like how they've been doing the kickoff return with Shipley and Dillon just because it just creates a different dynamic.
Yeah, inside zone.
You're right, Jeff Kerr. Good pull by you, by the way. 2021 National Championship when Alabama beat the piss out of Ohio State. Devontae Smith had 12 catches for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game, but he also returned 2 punts and he returned a kick as well.
You know what? That's probably why I remember that, because Ohio State got their butts whooped.
They got their butts whooped, and Devontae Smith had 215 and 3 touchdowns on 12.
That's when Alabama.
He was a first-round pick.
That's when Alabama was Alabama. Nick Saban was still there.
I think at the time I said, and I hope the Eagles could get one of these big 3 receivers where I knew that Chase wasn't going to be it, but could you get Waddle or Smith? And they were able to get Smith. I was pretty happy.
By the way, there's a good SEC show on the Netflix now. Any Given Saturday or something, which is the worst title ever because they just Georgia and Alabama just beat the crap. But they just had I just saw the episode where Vandy upset Alabama.
Wait, I gotta look at that. Any Given Saturday, I see it.
Yeah, tremendous episode. They got this little 5'10" Latino quarterback. He is just a spark plug, Vandy, and they beat Alabama, which is like the biggest win in Vandy history. And they kept playing. Obviously Nick's not there, but he said something before the game that there's only one place that isn't tough to play in the SEC, and he said at Vandy.
I feel cheated in life, so I went when I was at 24/7 Sports. I went to obviously their headquarters were in Nashville, and we were there for 5 days, and it was in November, and Vanderbilt was playing Florida, and I'd never been to an SEC game, and my friend, she's like, "Oh, I went to Vandy. How about we go to the game?" And I said, "Okay, we'll go." I had a miserable time because 1, Vanderbilt got destroyed. 2, I'm used to Penn State and just big stadiums. So we go to Vanderbilt and the stadium's half full and kind of run down. It wasn't as fun. But I did get to see Florida, so that was kind of fun. But I was like, yeah, I saw an SEC game. Probably not the SEC game, though. People recommend seeing it.
You got to get to a real SEC game.
My cousin went to Bama, Xander, so I need to go to Byron Denny at some point.
Well, I'm recommending it. I'm recommending that show. I just got done when the same week Arkansas upset Tennessee, who was like 4th.
I'm going to watch that. John, this is one of the downsides of me not being a TV watcher. I don't even know that shows like this exist because I never go on and see the advertisements.
And Vandy, Clark Lee is their head coach, who went to Vandy, but he was, a big time. I think he was defensive coordinator at Notre Dame before Al Golden. So, and then he went back to his alma mater. They were over 500 last year. They're getting better, man.
Yeah,
they're not a doormat anymore.
No, they've made a lot of improvements to the school's already top notch, but made a lot of improvements to NIL.
School's just a bunch of smart kids. School's unbelievable.
But overall, their athletic program, they started getting the NIL has helped them big time.
Yeah,
and they're starting to pour money in their athletic programs.
I mean, Alabama was number 1 coming into that game.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the country.
Was loss.
And they got their doors
Well, no, it's 40-35, but that kid.
But for Vandy, that's
yes, Jeff, you're right. In the Alabama world, people were saying they got their doors, their doors blown off.
Yeah, they still had a chance to win.
Yeah.
So they didn't. But I mean, they played Missouri, who was number 7. They lost in 2 overtimes. They played Texas, who was number 5. They lost by a field goal. I'm telling you, they're coming. Bandy's not Bandy anymore.
Yeah, they could be a sleeper team. The playoffs were expanded this year. I know that we can go down a wormhole with this one, but I would consider.
I shouldn't have went down this wormhole because it's a big day in Eagles land, but it was a good show, so I'm recommending it.
Speaking of Zander is not non-TV watching. Zander, have you seen F1 yet? The movie?
No, the movie. No, I haven't seen the movie.
Go see it.
I do watch the races. I watch the races though.
Go see it.
I've been watching more NASCAR since I went to NASCAR. That was like the highlight of my summer.
I love it. I love it, Zander. But you and I are gonna have to go to a NASCAR
I didn't show you any of my footage that I got from there. I was front row, man. I was like in such a cool spot. I don't know if Dirty Air's in here. One of our great viewers, Gary, who sent me down there. That was incredible. Me and my brother talk about it all the time. It's one of the best days of our summer.
Dover's got the All-Star race next year.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's kind of a downgrade for them, but it means North Wilkesboro, which is an historic track on the circuit's getting a points race. So I plan on going to vote for them next summer.
Very good. All right, guys, I want to ask you about another spot of the roster here. Cornerbacks. Who they keeping? How many? What are you guys projecting? Because I don't know. I joked on Twitter, and I joked, all right? I joked. It's amazing how many people can't take a joke. I even put the little laughing emoji so people knew I was joking. I said, can Perry Nickerson play the slot, everybody? But who you guys got at cornerbacks for this team coming into the year?
All right, I'll go my 6. So we'll do our usual suspects here. Jacorian Bennett, Dory Jackson, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Okay, they're the 4. I know some people say Kaylee Ringo should be cut. I don't believe that. He's too valuable of a special teamer. I don't care how he did this summer. He was always making the team. And what's my 6th?
Mac McWilliams.
Yeah, Mac McWilliams. Thank you. I was like, yeah, they're my 6.
Exact same 6. That's who's making the team.
Yeah.
Now there's a small chance that Ringo could get traded. They're not cutting him, to Jeff's point, but I could see them moving on, especially if they like somebody else playing gunner. But he is a very good special teams player. They're not cutting him. They might, if they have to trade him to get something of value, edge rusher, they might trade him, but they're not going to cut him. In that case, I don't know if somebody can, to your point, Barry Nickerson only plays slot. That's one of his problems. Obviously, again, he can line up outside, but he's not going to be effective. He's a slot player. That's all he is.
Kick DeJean outside and put Perry in the slot.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Absolutely not.
And Vic does like Perry, so
everybody likes Perry. But I mean, come on. People got to realize who was playing in that game against the Jets.
Yeah, no, I get it. Still a nice interception by him, by the way.
Yeah. John, great interception by Lewis Seen.
Yeah, that's true.
They got hurt.
Yeah, got hurt again. He was hurt, came back, and he got hurt again. And by the way, he was waived injured. So for all the Lewis Seen, why aren't you talking about Lewis Seen? There was nothing to talk about.
No, yeah. He got waived yesterday, right?
Yeah. He'll waived injured, so he'll be back on injured reserve, and then they'll have to work out an injury settlement.
One thing I enjoy about that last preseason game, and someone pointed out to me on X, and I didn't do it this year because I was kind of preoccupied watching that in the Phillies, but like normally I usually tweet out anything else I'd rather be watching but that preseason game. And it's usually a hit. I didn't do it this year.
Yeah. Well, I had to go to the game, so imagine that horror.
How was the traffic?
Oh, it wasn't bad because nobody showed up.
Yeah,
it was bad for about
a pregame show. We're like 10 minutes before the game. There's not. It sounds like there's crickets around.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, there's about 10 people in this.
Was Jody Mack one of the 10?
No, he would never go to a preseason game. But there was, typical New York traffic. You get about 8 miles. Everything was fine. I got like 8 miles from the stadium, and then it's just because you got all the people trying to get to George Washington Bridge as well.
Yeah, it's New York. It just feels like
Yeah.
New York once you get up there.
So, and it was the start of rush hour pretty much, 4:30. So it was a cluster for the last 8 miles, but everything else. And then getting out was easy as pie. Even it would have been if I left right after the game. Obviously, we got to stay for the locker room and all that stuff. So, I mean, it was easy getting out.
I'm
Nobody
scared.
came.
I'm scared to death for 10 days from now. I'm scared to death. My perpetual.
You better get there early, Jeff.
Yeah.
You better get there early.
My perpetual hell, guys. I'm telling you, it's if I'm stuck in hell, it's going to be I'm stuck in my car on the Blue Route or on the Schuylkill Expressway, and I can't get out of the car. I'm just stuck in traffic all day long.
Traffic completely changed when COVID rolled around. It's like rush hour is like an hour early.
Oh my God. It's like,
I hate it.
I don't think people work on Fridays anymore. Thursdays, the Thursday night traffic is insane. Friday at like 11 a.m. there's traffic. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But that's just the nature of the beast now. All right, Jeff, one more day until cutdowns, 10 days until the home opener at the end of preseason, at the end of training camp. Has your thoughts on the Eagles 2025 season? Are you more optimistic, less optimistic, neutral? How has it changed in the last 3-4 weeks of this team's offseason?
I feel a lot better about this team today than I did yesterday just because of some of the moves they made to cover their tracks.
that's crazy to me. Come on, Jeff.
I worry about injuries because injuries happen in the National Football League. But I still think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Don't let John bully you off your point.
If you have to play Sam Howell, you're screwed.
I know you're screwed, but
all right, but where are you more screwed with? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, with Sam Howell, or with Kyle McCord?
Kyle McCord, definitely.
So
I go to Tom Moore. You know, if Jalen gets hurt, we're fucked, and we don't practice fucked. So I don't care if it's Kyle McCord. By the way, Kyle McCord will be better playing with Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata instead of who he's playing with. And yeah, I mean, look, they got incrementally better. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, but this is the problem with me, John. This is what's stuck in my brain. Daz says I watched Sam Howell.
You gotta get over that.
Against Sean
I watched it too, Daz. We went to overtime versus fucking Sam Howell.
Well,
I couldn't believe that game.
You know, John, a mutual friend of ours, Mr. Ed Kratz, said to me in the
Ed loves Sam Howell.
Oh yeah, he told me he was going to be a star in this league.
We got to get Ed on this week.
Ed probably thinks Sam Howell should start over Jalen Hurts now. I'm joking, but
Ed does do overreaction pieces.
Look, you got to get over one game. You know, the guy threw for almost 4,000 yards in that season. He also won 4 games. You know, they were 4-13. And guess what? When he lit up the Eagles, Vic Fangio wasn't here. I guarantee you that.
It was a Sean Desai defense. In fact, Sam Howell made my prediction complete. Sean Desai just didn't have it.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. I get it, but that doesn't translate into everything else. And one of the best quarterback gurus, supposedly the best, said, you know what? I want Carson Wentz over this guy. If that ain't a red flag, I don't know what is. But all that, they got incrementally better.
I feel better about the Fred Johnson deal than anything else.
Well, Fred's, again, they didn't have somebody to play left tackle. Kendall Lamb is just not healthy. He had off-season back surgery. He's probably going to retire if I had to bet. Matt Pryor's not comfortable on the left side, so they didn't have a swing tackle, and they got incrementally better, no doubt about it.
So,
but again,
here's my question right now: who starts at left guard if Landry Dickerson can't play Week 1?
This is here we go. SMD is checked in. She said if Dickerson misses time, would they move Steen to left guard and play Pryor at right guard?
Yes, if it were long term.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's not going to be long term. So they're not going to make that move for 1 game or 2 games. If Landon was out for the season, yes, they would move Steen to left guard and play Pryor at right guard. they will try to persevere if he misses a game or two. And it might be Brett Toth getting elevated from the practice squad. It might be Drew Kendall.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because, John, you and I were the two that caught Drew playing left guard that second preseason game.
Yeah. And he did it again in the final preseason
Yeah, he
game.
did.
So they're trying to cross-train him. But, yes, they would make that move if Landon was done for the season with the full meniscus repair, but they trimmed it and he'll be back.
Before they traded Kennard, I would have
Kennard would have been in the conversation.
Yeah, I would have said on the show that'd be my bold prediction today. Darian Kennard will be the starting left guard week 1.
Yeah. Wouldn't have
So are we
surprised
thinking
me.
it's going to be Toth? Is that the best guess for week 1? If Landon,
I think it's going to be Landon.
You know what? I'm kind of with John on that. I think Landon's going to find a way to play.
I just don't know if if it's at all a rush, I don't think they would do it.
They shouldn't
Now, if
have
it's not a rush at all and he's completely ready, then yeah, he's going to be out there.
But I got news for you. There's nobody in the history of the world should get a meniscus trim unless the goal is to play
football.
football. So they're already not being cautious.
Yeah, there's two ways to heal meniscus, and trimming is not one of them.
Yeah.
So you guys saying after this season he's getting another surgery?
No, not necessarily.
No, he doesn't have to. It can heal on its own.
Oh, it can. All right, but it just takes probably a long time.
Yeah. But you for the average human like us, you wear a knee brace.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to get surgery. But if you're playing football, you should probably get surgery. But yeah, anyway. So I think Landon's going to play week 1. If not, yeah, they'll persevere with probably elevating Brett Toth or even playing Drew Kendall as a rookie. They'll try to get through a week with that. But yeah, if he got the full repair and he was out for the season, yes, they would have moved Steen already, would have moved him to left guard and play Pryor right guard.
We'll see. We'll see. Plenty of stuff here to talk about. Jeff Kerr, thanks for doing it today, brother. We appreciate you being here. Cut down day tomorrow and 10 days out from the Eagles opener. Thank you, SMD Eagles, for the super chat today. Jeff, your final thoughts before we let you run, brother. Great segment today. We appreciate you doing it.
Hey, anytime, Zander. By the way, I got my overreactions piece out today on CBS Sports of the preseason. Obviously, I do this every week, but I think Eagles fans will like this one because I kind of ripped the Cowboys pretty good today.
Well, how could you not rip the Cowboys?
Well, this is what I said. The Cowboys know they're not going to be good, which is why they're dragging this Micah Parsons thing out.
Jerry's a lunatic, man.
He is. So he's almost so much of a lunatic, you got to respect the game.
Yeah.
He's so committed to his lunacy.
He's very savage.
Yeah, he is savage.
I mean, he's a great businessman. Hall of Fame businessman. He's not a Hall of Fame football executive.
No.
By the way,
he cares to be. I don't think he even wants to be.
By the way, guys, I finally rewatched the Super Bowl, and I rewatched it for other reasons. And
look at Saquon.
No. Okay, so this is what I've always
that game.
enjoyed as someone who does like the entertainment value of football. And I've actually talked to Tony Romo about this. I enjoyed when Tony Romo was dating Carrie Underwood and Jessica Simpson when they showed him succeeding and failing. This is the problem I have with today's society. Show Taylor Swift when her boyfriend fails.
What are we talking about Taylor Swift for? I don't get
because they show her all the time, which I'm fine with, but show them other times, not when he's scoring a touchdown.
I don't watch much football, to be honest. And when I usually get to rewatch it, I usually go to Game Pass. So I'm not paying attention to the Taylor Swift effect. But boy, people get upset by that.
I'm one of those people because I feel like you should look. I love it. I love how Taylor Swift's a football junkie. I love the New Heights episode.
She's where's she from? Reading?
Why missing? Yeah. Or as Ross Tucker likes to say, he's the second most famous person from.
Yeah. So she's a local gal, although she turned on the Eagles. But you have to.
I never thought she was an Eagles fan to begin with. She's a Phillies fan.
Ross Tucker committed. Speaking of Ross, he committed a rippable offense on the
What the whole Jake the Make thing?
I'm like, dude, Jake the Make. I've been hearing that for 8 years. What are you talking about?
I think they called him Jake the Make in like
the whole way. I'm like, Ross, I'm sorry, I didn't buy that for one. He's like, how about Jake the Make? Has anybody made that a phrase? Let's start calling him Jake the Make. And he like said it on the air like he was almost trying to.
Ross doesn't pay attention to.
No, he has heard Jake the Make. I didn't buy that for 1 second. Ross,
I don't know, man.
He does a great job.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know. He might not.
Ross is going to be at the first game. He's calling the game for Westwood 1.
Ross is always there doing. Well, he's in. He does the Eagles stuff, obviously, but he's normally at home games. I think he does the WIP pregame show.
Yeah,
he's always there very early. I
can't
can't beat Ross to Lincoln Financial Field.
I can, but he also knows the drive I take too, so it's part of the game. But usually I'm in line with him when we're getting food, and I just love watching Ross tape tuck spreads.
Yeah, he and Jimmy are my two favorite food critics. So there you go.
Ross loves food and beer.
Yeah,
that's why I can't hate him.
That's fair. Jeff, thanks for being here today, brother. We'll catch up with you next week. Thank you, man.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All
right. Thanks, Jeff. Get ready for 16 more stories today. It's coming.
Oh, yeah. Eagles are going to – you think they're making more moves today, John?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's over by any stretch.
So
it could fall to tomorrow, but
so get my breaking news graphics ready is what you're telling me.
Unfortunately,
I think it's fortunate, John. It's a beautiful day to be alive, Johnny Mac. Come on, man. Cheer up, Johnny Mac. Howie's shaking and baking.
You don't understand how much stuff I got to do when he does this stuff.
I can fathom it to some extent. I got to do a lot of shit too.
Yeah. So, but I think more people are willing to trade. So, but this is even for Howie. This is extensive already. And it's not over. So, there's all the good stuff, but there's some bad in there as well, because he's already brought in 4 players, and remember, there's that part, the Eagles talk up their culture, rightfully so. It's always that part, and CJ, when during one of his rants, talked about it when he was brought in late. The other guys are like, "Oh, what the F? We're working our asses off all spring and summer." So there's that part of it as well. Little things. It's not all peaches and cream. Try to bring both sides into it.
Let's get to our first commercial break today. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here. We've got a great crowd in here on a Monday morning, Johnny Mac. A cut down day tomorrow, 10 days out from the Eagles opener, preseason in the rearview mirror, training camp in the rearview mirror. Now time for the good stuff that's coming up right in front of us. We'll be covering it here on Birds 365. For those who are new, for those listening right now that are not familiar with the show, we're live 8 to 10 a.m. every Monday through Friday on Birds 365, talking about this team, breaking down everything soup to nuts with this football team. So appreciate you being here. Hit that like button. Drop your comments down below. All super chats go to the top. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on Birds 365.